In 1983, Ruth Lane met the love of her life, Don. She didn't know it at the time, but that love would last for nearly 30 years.
The night we first went out, the barman said, "Oh, how long have you been going out there?" I went, "No, it's our first date, you know," and he was going, "I thought you'd been together for ages." He never stopped holding my hand, basically, for 28 years.
Suffering with type 2 diabetes, Don fell ill over Christmas 2017.
Arriving home, Ruth witnessed a sight no wife wants to see. Her husband, Don, collapsed on the sitting room floor.
After calling 999, Ruth and her son Jordan were instructed to perform CPR. This was the only thing keeping Don alive while the ambulance was dispatched.
It was almost like as soon as I started doing that, he was relying on me to do the breaths. It's like he stopped. It's just seeing somebody that you love with all your heart just looks so vulnerable.
When the ambulance arrived, medics resuscitated Don, but unfortunately, after rushing into the hospital, Don lost his life.
It's getting used to saying me instead of we, I instead of us. And I don't think I'm ever going to be happy again. I just feel I could have saved him.
15 months later, Ruth is still finding life without Don unbearable and desperately needs our help to get her life back on track.
We can never bring him back. What we can do is help you to accept what's happened.
What I would like is for you to thank him for 28 years of fabulous times.
Oh, I know you did.
Isn't that better?
Oh, I know.
Returning to the house, Ruth showed us where she found Don.
I saw Don was just laying here.
Do you have flashbacks?
I do.
When you see that flashback, on a disturbance scale, shall we say, 0 to 10, 10 being the absolute worst, where would you be?
10.
10.
It terrified me, Nick.
With the family clearly broken with grief, it was time to help and do everything we can to get Ruth back to her former self.
Every time I blink, it's like he's in my eyes. Yeah.
Some things that just, like this, just aren't very nice, and you just wish that they wouldn't happen, but sometimes things just happen. So why is it your fault?
I feel like I didn't look after him that last day.
You fought until that very last minute, you and Jordan together as a team. And I've got to tell you, if he had no choice over leaving this world.
No.
But, oh my God, it couldn't have been any better. He had the two people around him that he loved the most.
To shift Ruth's perspective from mourning Don to celebrating their life together.
I feel like I've been punished. It must have done something really bad to take someone so lovely, you know?
Although difficult for us, we needed to try a tougher approach.
Yeah, 28 years of the best times ever with the most amazing person. But you're ignoring that. But how wrong is that, to focus on that one day?
It's very disrespectful,
28 years
honestly,
of
Ruth.
the most
It
amazing
really
memories.
is. I'm hurt on Don's behalf.
Oh, don't leave her.
To make it all about his death, it feels really wrong. Knowing and seeing the life that he's brought to you, to your son, to know that life that he brought to it all, and it just feels that you're on the bandwagon diminishing his light, and I don't think that's fair.
If I could take you back before you ever met Don, and I said to you, I could introduce you to this guy, and he's kind, generous, the loveliest person that you'll ever meet, and I think you'll fall in love with him.
And he's going to be your soulmate.
Oh.
The problem is, you can only be with him for 1 year, but it would be the best year of your life. What would you do?
I'd have just still gone for it that year.
Absolutely you would. And then after the year, when I came to visit you again, and you said, "But Nick, I'm having the best time of my life. I don't want it to end." And I said, "Right, okay, you've got another 27.
Oh.
And you'll have a son."
I know, that sounds lovely, doesn't it?
Or you've lost sight of all that. You know, some people go through their life and they never meet the right person.
So lucky.
And they don't even have one day. You had 28 years.
I know.
Absolutely beautiful thoughts and sentiments, and terrible sadness from Ruth, who now joins us with Nik and Eva.
Hi.
Our condolences, first of all.
Oh, thank you.
But after watching that, it is nice to see you smile.
Yes. Got my twinkle back
You've got your
again.
twinkle, you really have.
Yeah.
So how would you describe what Nik and Eva have done for you, how you've changed in just a few weeks they've been working with you?
I'm me again. My poor son thought he'd lost his mum at the same time, and that just broke my heart. I'm so sorry, Jordan. I didn't mean to. I was devastated, you know, and I was on anti-depressants and no more.
You're not now?
No.
What
no.
about work?
Oh, work. My work have just been amazing to me. If you've got 2 colleagues that you get on with, you're lucky, aren't you? If you have 4, it's amazing. I've got 50. Every single one of them, they hug me. They've been so supportive.
So you're back at work now?
I had to go. Well, I didn't have to go back. Jordan wanted me to go back. He was frightened I was going to lose my job, and I said, no, they're fine.
And
honestly.
what about, you said, you know, you couldn't imagine a future without Don, which I can totally understand.
No.
How do you feel about life ahead of you now?
I'd be lying if I say I'm going to be happy. I don't know. Hopefully one day I'll be happy again.
But you're not going to be as sad as you were.
No, definitely
Or
not.
blame yourself.
I just couldn't. Couldn't help it. I just thought, did I do the CPR quick enough? And
of course you did.
Did I do it right? And
I think for us, that was what, when we met, we said, look, we can never bring your husband back. But what we really wanted for Ruth was to be able to smile again, which she is, to be able to go out again, which I believe you are again now. And really, it's adapting now, because she's had 28 years of living one way, but she wasn't allowing herself to adapt because she just kept herself at home, just to herself, went to work, came home.
Grief can lock you in, Nick.
Oh,
can't it?
completely.
Very much so, and she was just stuck in that situation. That day, she was stuck in that day, and all you could see was that day, weren't you? And you just said it was behind your eyes, but and when I said to you, what's the last thing you thought of Don? It was Don being on the floor.
Just
But
broke my heart.
But when you think about Don now, what do you think?
You got rid of that. I don't know how you did it. How did you do it?
They're miracle
The
workers,
pictures.
they're magicians.
It was like, the only way I can describe it, it was like a slide projector, and it was just Don laying there, looking just so vulnerable and helpless. And
But can you now have a nicer image when you
yes,
think
it's
of him?
gone. It's just gone. I really have to concentrate on seeing Don laying there now.
So tell me the first image that you see now when you think of Don.
Oh, it's that picture you put in my lovely bread of us married, and that picture I've got on my wall. But we're young. I always think of it as young. Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
Amazing, aren't they?
They are
Amazing.
amazing.
Good
We
work.
love them.
And how
And we're
lucky am
so
I?
pleased.
But you're amazing too.
Oh,
She is very amazing.
And
like
she
you.
really made us appreciate that we should all appreciate one another and not take each other for granted.
Holding hands, it's the best. Oh, you see, that makes me want to cry. That's
It's true,
lovely.
you're absolutely right. Appreciate
I'm holding
You
Nick.
can hold it. I'll hold your hand, Ruth.
darling.
Two
I was
Ruths
just holding
together.
hands.
Just
Oh.
hold hands. Listen, it's lovely to see you smile.
Thank
and like I said,
you.
nothing that can change what happened. But we just
No.
wish you a happy life going forward.
Oh, thank you.
And your son.
Thank you. Oh, Jordan's the
Yeah.
best thing in my
Lovely.
life. Thank you.
And you too, miracle workers, amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely.